What's going on, guys? Get some of this sage. Live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable. That wasn't even tobacco. What the fuck? It's fucking weird. How you guys doing? Hey, thank you for the gift. I feel led to do like a cleansing, healing session today, and so that's what we're gonna do. Gonna let a few more people roll in. It's kind of sporadic, which is, I mean, that's always been me, as a last minute, whenever I have time, sort of thing. So before, you know, I've talked about who I am, like, and who I was in this world. You know, some of the things that I accomplished, didn't accomplish. You know what I mean? Talked about, well, you know, so dropped out of college twice because it wasn't the thing for me, right? But you know, I passed a more important class. I passed a more important school. I passed the school that you can't enroll in. I passed the school that your lessons are, your tests are life. You know, the mystery schools. It's not something you ask to be initiated into. It's something that your actions, that you feel led to do, and your actions lead you to, right? You know, and to pass the mystery schools, your heart has to be weighed on the scales. And it gets weighed against a feather, and your heart has to be lighter than a feather. And for your heart to be lighter than a feather, it's everything has to be aligned in that place of love. It's your thoughts, it's your words, it's your actions, it's your attentions, it's everything. It's everything, and just one slight variation of any of them is going to throw the scales off, which is hard for some people to grasp, because when you're looking at people's actions through these eyes, it's not always going to make sense, because their actions might appear aggressive or something, but it's possible to do things that might appear, you know, aggressive or this and that, but it coming out of a place of love, and that's what all that matters, is intention. You know, you can do the right thing with the wrong intentions, and if that's what you're doing, you might as well just not do anything, because it negates it. You know, if you're doing the right thing with bad intentions for alternative motives, you're better off doing nothing. You're better off doing nothing. Intention's everything. But so I passed the mystery schools. You know, I'm a shaman. I'm a healer. You know, for the longest time, you know, I was told I was a mystical shaman, and it's like, okay, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? And you know, a lot of times it's the answers we seek are you know, revealed to us over time, and through a lot of reflecting. And so what's a mystical shaman? Well, shamans in general believe in natural healing, right? The healing of the earth, natural herbs and plants, which there's a natural way to do everything, which we got far away from once we started monetizing, once we started turning into money, once we realized that, hey, you know, people that are constantly sick pay a lot more money than people that get healed. And so that's when they started they started treating us. They started treating the symptoms and not the real thing. They started half treating us to keep us coming back and needing them, instead of, hey, you're healed, be gone, right? Because there's no money in it for them if you're healed and then you don't come back until the next time. Which, I mean, if you're treating your body like the temple that it is, you're really not going to have that many reasons to go to those institutions. But a mystical shaman incorporate. It's more of the mystic teachings. You know what I mean? It's more of a combination of combining things. You know what I mean? It's combining the healings of the earth with the healings of the mind too. Which is, you know, first and foremost, I'm a light worker. You know, I'm a light worker warrior. And what's that? Pretty much, it's the same in the sense of a shaman, in the sense of healing, but you don't really see it. It's more of a leading people in the right direction through conversation, through words. It's telling people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, what they need to hear. And a lot of times it's triggering to people because it goes against, you know, what they've been taught. It goes against, you know, what they want to believe. But a lot of times what we want to believe and what the truth is two different fucking things, completely two different things. You know, but it's those real hard truths that resonate, that really shake you up and disrupt you. That's how you know there's some truth in it, right? And that's when you need to really reflect on, well, question your beliefs, question what you've been taught. Because most of our beliefs are what? Most of our beliefs are based upon indoctrination, whether it be through the government, through religion, through our parents, through our family, friends. You know, it's indoctrination. It's other people's beliefs forced upon us. And a lot of times it happens at a young age. And then to step out of it, you're going against the grain. To step out of it, you're going against you're going against society. You're going against the norm, which a lot of people don't have the balls to do, because that makes you stand out. But growth doesn't happen by conforming. Growth doesn't happen by being a yes man. Growth doesn't happen by just falling in line and doing as you're told. Unless you're falling in line and doing as you're told by the Most High. But most of the time, if you're falling in line with the Most High, you're going against society. You're going against man and man's fucking beliefs. Man's beliefs are fucked up. Man's beliefs are false. For the most part. You know, we've been disconnected. So, let's talk about, we've talked a little bit in the past about music and how, you know, just as music can be disrupting to us, music can also be healing to us. And Beethoven, Symphony 7, Part 2, the first 3 minutes of that is the notes that hits, it's supposed to help you release a lot of emotions that have been built up. Let's listen to it. It's only 3 minutes right now. Do I have YouTube on here? there's a lot of activation codes in the things that we hear. Music used to be a really sacred thing. Now it's all set at frequencies, disruption frequencies, to disrupt us, to throw us off of alignment. There we go. There's right here. The first 3 minutes, that's all we're going to listen to. This is the activation, this is the healing. And you're supposed to be calm. You're supposed to be calm and relaxed when you listen to this. Probably should have mentioned that first. Playing. There we go. That's really, really quiet. If you guys hear that, let me know in the chat. You probably can't even hear it. I'm not going to do that. But Beethoven, Symphony 7, Part 2, or second movement is what they call it. But first 3 minutes, you want to be calm and relaxed and just at peace. If you're all chaotic and it's not going to work, then it's not going to be effective. It's not going to be effective. But it's supposed to help you with releasing old built up emotions and stuff, and a couple other things. But like the music I'm playing today, this is all shaman healing music. It's all activating, healing frequencies. You know what's an interesting fact about music too? So my research had led me to this information about the music that you play to the plants can help to make them grow bigger. And so the music, the research that I found was saying classical music. There's something about the vibration of the frequency that makes the plants vibrate that helps them to grow. It was remarkably larger and faster in a shorter period of time. But I was working on this Italian restaurant, and one of the guys I worked with, his family had an organic farm in North Dakota, and he said that they used to play music to their plants, and he said that it would actually increase the rate that it grew in, and two, the yield of the crop would be bigger, which is pretty cool. Which I think most people would start doing if they understood that. Thank you for the gift. So, as I'm picking up this ash of the incense that just blew away, so you know how like Yeshua talks about and the basic instructions before leaving earth, how anointing your head, and so what the point of that is, it's the oil on your head is to protect your crown from psychic attacks. That's what it is. But another way you can do that is ashes from an incense or something. You take it and you just rub it on your temples. That's supposed to help to some sort of give you protection, the same as like the oil does to anointing your head with the oil, protecting your crown. And you protect your crown so that other people's thoughts, other people's psychic attacks, so other people's attacks don't come in, aren't flooding and corrupting your own. Well, that's another interesting point too. So I had mentioned before, I talked a little bit about Michael Jackson and how he would normally be up in the early hours, right, in the last watch hours, so like around 3 o'clock, right, and he'd be catching those downloads, getting the music ideas. And, you know, he's even on interview talking about how he's like, he would catch the downloads. He's like, I got to get these out right now, because if I don't, Prince is. Meaning Prince is also tapped in, right? And he understands how it goes. It's all out there for everyone to grab. But do you choose to tap into that frequency? You know what I mean? When you're waking up on those hours, you're waking up there at those times for a reason, so that you can connect. It's because the veils are the thinnest at that time, and so that's when you catch those downloads. But if you're waking up that time and you just want to scroll on your phone instead, or you want to go fuck off and do whatever, you're missing out on a very important time that you could be catching those downloads. But then getting them are no good if you're not taking action upon them. That's why he would say he would get them, and they would have to get them out real quick and then go in the studio and get it out before Prince does, because there was a chance that they both could have been catching, you know, similar downloads, right? Yeah, but also, like it tells you in the basic instructions before leaving Earth, you know, take command of the thoughts that are yours. You know, so thoughts that, you know, chaos. You know, the Most High is not chaotic. The Most High is, you know, everything but chaos. So if people or things are bringing chaos into you, then that's not of the Most High. That's not of the Most High. Not at least if people are consistently bringing that type of energy, like, around you, then, you know, those people probably aren't supposed to be around you. What do I want to do? Let's get some earth wisdom. Music is great, but one thing to be cautious of too, though, is what we're choosing to listen to constantly. I mean, because if we're, you know, when you're in those depressive moods and whatever, you know, we tend to listen to that, but which is natural to kind of get in there. It's part of the releasing, but we don't stay there. You know what I mean? We force ourselves out of those states, and that's something I've been catching myself recently. Is tuning out of the music that don't represent whatever mood I'm striving for, I guess. I choose to try to listen to upbeat and cheerful. I mean, for the videos, I tend to listen to music that I don't really listen to outside of here, only because I was led to make those the playlist, because there's messages in the songs that need to be aligned with the cards, which I have an overstanding of that, which is the only reason why I still listen to it. I mean, I still like the songs and stuff, but I choose not to listen to them because I know what risk it opens me up to, and I choose not to do it as much as I can. Because why put yourself at risk if you don't have to? You know, you're at risk all the time without even trying to. You know what I mean? We're attacked through just about everything we consume, everything we see, everything we hear. You know, regardless if you know it or not, it's, you know, attacks to your subconscious programming. That's a big one. Even visuals, subconscious programming. subconscious programming. That's why it's really important to have divine protection. That's why it's really important to stay up with your spiritual baths. That's why it's really important to watch what we consume through our eyes, through our ears, and what we ingest. Oh, we ingest it all. We ingest it all. Our subconscious ingests it all. Divine protection. You notice how she's got the torch too, though. You know, divine protection. Burnt offerings. You know, the sage, the Palo Santo, burnt offerings. Burnt offerings for protection. Burnt offerings for cleansing. Burnt offerings. Well, there's other things to do for protection too. You know what I mean? Black obsidian, tiger's eye. They're both for protection. Both for protection. Spiritual hygiene, it's a really important thing to keep up with. Thank you, Bunny. You know what's interesting about Black Obsidian that I was thinking about the other day? So you know how they tell us about a lot of things in movies, right? You go back and you look at like the Game of Thrones series, right? Well, the ice wall, what do you think that is? Well, that's the ice wall that they don't let us go and see in Antarctica. They don't let us go that far, right? And that's why they, you know, give us that false map and everything else. But if you, in the movie, they call it black glass, right? That's what they use to kill the Ice Walkers, and that's what they, you know, in Lord of the Rings, that's what they use for to kill the dragons and stuff, right? And you know, I'm led to believe that's a, you know, representation of Black Obsidian, because you know, our indigenous ancestors, they used to use it for arrowheads. They used to use it for stuff like that. And so there's just multiple things that lead me to believe that. But you also, with the understanding that they always put things in the movies too, you just have to know how to connect the dots. And I'm normally pretty good about connecting dots that people wouldn't even think are there. You know, having the right protection. Having the right protection is going to give you a sense of relief that you can't get anywhere else. Because even if you might be at a place of what would appear like as peace, you know, from worldly eyes, right? Because all right, well, look at, for instance, look at some of the happiest comedians, right? Some of the happiest people, they suffer from depression, right? They suffer from depression. And you won't even know they're depressed until next thing you know, they're no longer here, right? You know, but it's the battles in here that you never know what battles people are fighting. You never know. And a lot of the battles we can't find on our own. We can fight and we can fight and we can fight, but we'll never find the relief that we're really seeking. Because the battle never ends. You know, but when you seek that internal relief, when you seek that relief from the Most High, you know, the treasures, the shadow treasures, the treasures that are there waiting for you, you just can't see them. You can't see them. You can't see them until you start looking through the right eyes, your first eye. Those are where the best treasures remain hidden internally. It all takes awareness. Awareness of what we consume. Awareness of what we're conditioning ourselves to. Awareness of what we're subconsciously believing, regardless if we know it or not. You know, it's just awareness. Awareness of everything we consume. Awareness. Awareness of what we're putting into our temple. You know, when you start treating your body like the temple that it is, you're going to be more aware of the things that you consume. You're going to be more cautious about the things that you consume. But a lot of people are just unaware. And that's part of what my mission is to bring awareness. And a lot of that comes through shining light to the deceptions. A lot of people are unaware about what they consume. You know, but when you become aware, when you become, you know, aware of what you consume, and you start eliminating those harmful things from ingestion, whether it be from what we hear, see, or eat, you know, it gives you a better insight on things because you're thinking clearly. But you're never going to have a chance to think clearly when you're still, one, filling your body with parasites, you know, through all the things that we consume, from never taking the time to treat your body like the temple it is and clean house, which fasting, cleaning up your diet in all forms. But when you do that, you get a deeper insight. Yeah, but you know, a lot of times you become accustomed to things after so long, you know, and people don't want to give them up. People don't want to give them up because, well, you're addicted to them. You're addicted to them. And, well, it is a sense of sorrow, you know, having to give, it always is having to give things up. But it's worth it. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. It's required. I can also tell you that. You know, people want a lot, but they don't want to do the work to achieve it. They get bored of putting in the work. They get bored of not seeing the results, and they tap out. Who knows? You could be tapping out right before the finish line. You could be tapping out right before you find serenity. Tapping out because you feel hopeless. You're tapping out because you're not tapping into the source. You're not tapping into the creator to give you that extra whatever that you need. You're relying on yourself. But when you rely on the Most High, you're going to be satisfied. You're going to be satisfied with the results. Not always immediately, but overall, yes. Because it's going to take longer to get there. And it's going to, guaranteed. It's going to take longer to get there the right way. But I can tell you what, it's going to last. It'll last a lot longer. And it's going to be exciting. Sometimes the excitement comes in, well, the fear of the unknown. But, you know, you need to get excited for everything. Because, you know, the fear of the unknown, when, you know, getting over those hurdles, once you get over them, it's exciting because you never know where it's going to go. But you'll never find out if you don't take the steps that you're being led to. You're just going to keep yourself in cycles of disappointment. That's the spirit. You know, the fear is always there. And you know, when people that have known you for a long time knew the person that was you before you had that big spirit energy, right? You know, then people see you now and they see the change to you, and it's, you know, it's fascinating to them. The growth, it's fascinating to them. But it's more fascinating to them because they're fearful. They're fearful of what it takes to get there, because they know, because they saw you do it. Some people will help you, some won't, but it's okay. It doesn't matter if they did or not. All that matters is that you did it. A lot of times we're not going to have the help and support that we would want. A lot of times it's going to be the people that you would think are supposed to be there to help you and support you that are the ones working against you. You know, jealous ass motherfuckers. But yet they'll still be fascinated and intrigued, because they'll know everything you went through. They'll know everything you went through. They'll know everything you went through. And they could try to do the same things, but they'll become bored of it. You know, what I'm being led to is drastic life changes, you know, but boredom. Sometimes we get bored of the ruts that we put ourselves in. Sometimes we get bored of the repetitive cycles we put ourselves into. And what I'm being reminded of too is that some of my addictions. I just got to a place where I was bored. I was bored of being in the position I was in. I was bored of doing the same fucking shit all the time. I was just bored. I was bored about being surrounded with the same people that don't have any ambition to change. I was bored. And so I wanted better. And I chose to find better. But it'll be the same people that are fascinated with how you did it. It'll be the same people that are fascinated with how you did it, that want it, but they don't want to do it. The same people that watched you struggle, that watched you pull yourself out, that didn't offer you a hand. But yet when you make it out, now they expect you to put down a hand to help them out. Nobody's going to save you. You have to save yourself. Nobody. Sometimes we have some help, but people can't do everything for us. People can't go inside and do the inside healing and inside repair and work that we need to do. No one else can do that for you. Nobody. But, you know, it's not my job to heal people. It's my job to show people how to heal themselves. Because I can't save everyone. But I can put the information and knowledge out there to teach people how to save themselves. I can do that. You know, these messages are timeless. I don't do hashtags. I don't do anything. You know, I make them, I put them out there, and then I set my intentions, because intentions are everything. I set my intention that it reaches who it needs to reach, when it needs to reach. And you know, it's not even like, sometimes we get messages. It's the right message. It's just we're at the wrong place when we need to hear, when it's going to make any sense. But at the right time, you're going to be reminded, hey, that person tried to teach me this. Oh, now it makes sense. You know, the light bulb's going to go on. But we're not meant to understand. You can't expect people to understand what you're trying to tell them right away. They're not always meant to. You're just meant to plant the seed. You're not meant to sit there and watch the whole plant grow or wither and die. You know, because it's depressing, especially as a healer. It's depressing watching people fall back into the same repetitive cycles after you help them get out of it. And that's sitting there and watching a plant wither. I don't do that anymore. I'm gonna show you how to plant your plants, how to pot your plants. But if you're not gonna water them, if you're not gonna trim them, if you're not gonna take care of them, I'm not gonna do it for you. I can't do it for you. That's work you have to do. and I'm not going to keep replanting, plants into soil that's dead, into soil that's no good, because you don't want to take care of it. That's on you. I can show you what to do, but I can't do it for you. That's where I got myself stuck a lot, trying to save everyone, playing Captain Save-A-Ho, when a lot of hoes don't want to be saved. And that's just a generic term. I don't mean anything by it. I'm not directing that towards anyone. It's just a term. Boredom. It keeps popping out. Boredom. Sometimes people get bored of healing because they feel ashamed, because they start reflecting and they start seeing the way that they did things, and they're not proud of them. They're ashamed. But it's depressing if you sit there and you hold remorse, but we don't hold remorse. We hold an understanding that we can't change the past. We can accept it for what it is, the past. Are we proud of it? No, not necessarily. Are we ashamed of it? Sometimes. But we can't change it. We can't change it. We're not going to be held back, because we're putting chains on ourselves when we do that. So we move forward. We try not to make the same mistakes again. We learn from it, because the only time it's a mistake is if you don't learn from it, if you don't grow from it, if you continue to put yourself in the same repetitive cycles and complain about them but never do anything to change them. That you should be ashamed about. Keep putting yourself in chaotic situations and then getting out and putting yourself right back into them. Curiosity killed the cat, but it also freed the slave. I said that once and it stuck with me. Curiosity killed cat. We're slaves. Wow. We're slaves to what? What are we slaves to? We're slaves to a lot. We're addicted to a lot of things, regardless if we realize it or not. Just because we don't see the physical chains on us doesn't mean we're not chained. They keep us chained monetarily through piracy, through a whole lot of ways. Government piracy. Taxation is theft, straight theft. It's just legalized theft. Legalized. When they keep you trapped working dead-end jobs, when they keep you trapped in the matrix, just working, you're working to survive. But they want to keep you in that state of working to survive, because if you're stuck in that state of working to survive, you're not in a state of creativity. You're not in a state of peace. It's all chaos. It's all chaos all around you. It's all chaos all around you. So you have to learn to quiet the storms. The other quiet, peaceful, meditating. You gotta learn how to quiet the storm inside. But a lot of people are insecure with being alone. A lot of people are insecure with being in their own thoughts. A lot of people are insecure with sitting in their own mind. I mean, my mind's it's a fascinating place, but it's a scary place too, for most people. We need to be concerned. We need to be concerned with what we allow to occupy our mind space. Because your mind's a battlefield. You can either be its commander or be its soldier. And you're never gonna free yourself keeping yourself a slave. You gotta free your mind first. You guys got any questions? No questions? Probably let's jump into a reading then. That's what you're all here for, right? Well, a lesson is a reading. A little music here and there. Those aren't the type of questions I was asking. If you had questions for it, if you want to book a read, you can book a read. Doing half off reads right now. $10 reads during the live to my Cash App. That's not something a read would tell you. It's not really going to tell you either. Get some frankincense up in here, up in her. It smells great, doesn't it? I haven't tried the oils, but just in general, I'm sure they smell good. You know, but scents have a lot of, activating and healing, and there's a lot of benefits, things that it stimulates in our minds, and what it does to our bodies as well when we consume it. That's why, be cautious of what we consume. But it can also do good things. The spiritual baths are good too, because they can help pull some of the heavy metals that we absorb, that we consume. It can help pull some of the heavy metals out. There's multiple reasons why we do the stuff we're supposed to be doing, why we fast, why we keep up with our spiritual hygiene. There's multiple reasons. Alright, Spirit. Come through, guide and protect this message. Remove any negative energy from the area. Thank you for allowing this to get to any and everyone it's intended to. And so it is. Alright, what's the current energy, Spirit? What's the current energy? Oh, I just fucked that card up. 9 of Cups. Goodness put out is returned. How's the audio? Can you guys hear me fine? Can you guys hear me fine over the music? Yeah? It's fine? Okay. Alright, so 9 of Cups. Goodness put out is returned. You know, but sometimes you don't always see it coming. You don't always see it coming. He doesn't even see the cups behind him. Doesn't even see him. He's waiting though, patiently waiting. Be still and listen. You know, you stay first eye on the Most High. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding. You know, it's that understanding. It's that understanding of what we do is not. Well, it's not always with the intention, because intention is everything. We don't do what we do with the intention of getting something in return. We do it because it's the right thing to do. You know, if we get rewarded for it, cool, great, love it, appreciate it, I'll accept it. But we don't do things with the intention of recognition, with the intention of a reward. That's not why we do the things that we're led to do. But it's an understanding that, you know, well, it's not even that. We do get rewarded. It's that feel-good feeling, right? Even if we're not doing it for that, although some people do it just for that. You know, I mean, it's a nice benefit of doing things, is seeing the effect that you have on people. But that's not the reason why we do it. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Yeah, we should be happy and satisfied. Happy and satisfied. He doesn't even see the cups that are behind him, right? There's 9 cups behind him, but he doesn't even see them. Doesn't even know that they're there. Doesn't even know, but he still has a smile on his face. You know what I mean? It's not being focused on, well, it's not looking through the world with our worldly eyes. You know, if you're looking through your worldly eyes, you're not going to see the cups behind you, and so you're not going to be happy. We're supposed to be happy and content with where we're at, with what we have. And we're supposed to be responsible with it, because if we can't be responsible for the little things, how are we supposed to be responsible for the big things? Tell me more. The Page of Wands. You know, what's interesting to me is how in this card, you know, there's nothing. And in this one, hey, they found one wand, right? It's got one wand, one staff. But he's like looking at it, inspecting it. It's like, this is mighty fine. You know, it's just a regular one though. But it's like being content with the little things. It's being at peace, being at content with the little things. Being happy and satisfied. Not needing everything. A lot of people they base their sense of happiness off of what they have. And if that's what you're basing it upon, well, you're going to be pretty fucking miserable. Pretty miserable. $10 mini reads. $10 to my Cash App. Put in the title, if you're gonna do it, put in the title your name on here. And goodness put out is goodness returned in abundance. But it takes 2 of them behind there. We got the Knight of Pentacles. You know, it's hard work. It's hard work, and you're not always going to see the results, but you need to keep on grinding and keep on grinding, because it's the understanding, the inner knowing of it's going to come. It's the inner knowing. It's the inner knowing that even when you're battle weary, even when you don't know if you can fight another battle. But that's when you give it to the Most High, and that's where you get the strength and perseverance that you're lacking. That's where you get it. That's where you get it. Yeah, but you know, when you've been through so much, you know, you're always kind of like looking, at analyzing situations, because you don't want to fall into the same ones, right? You don't want to fall into the same traps that you've already fallen into. But sometimes when we overthink it, due to however you want to state it, it could be PTSD, it could be a lot of things, but we base our current things that we go through, we compare it to past ones, and sometimes it saves us, sometimes it protects us because we're avoiding the same similar situations. But other times we can be projecting. We could be projecting fears from the past onto new things, you know. But we're always, because we're constantly watching out. We're in a constant state of fight or flight. We're in a constant state of, you know, being attacked, and so we're always looking, you know. When you get used to hands being held out, just being false, you stop grabbing the hands that come reaching out to you, because, well, every hand I grab ends up falling, so why am I going to keep grabbing them? But you know, not every hand is gonna let you go. Not every hand is gonna let you go. But that's when it's, you know, we need to go and use our discernment. Use our discernment. Trust our internal compass. We're gonna know when something's off about a situation. We're gonna know internally. We're gonna know internally the truth, because it's a frequency. And that, you know, when you can tell, when you get that gut feeling that someone's lying to you, it's because they are, probably, or there's something, they're just being some sort of deceitful, and you know it internally. It's a vibrational thing. You can feel it, especially if you're empathetic and you can connect with other people. You can feel it. You know when someone's being honest with you, and you know when they're not. But you know, when we're listening to the words are going to say a lot, you know, so it needs to come in this one, get processed, and either, you know, we're going to do something with it, or that's bullshit. I'm not even going to let that thought in there, because it's all bullshit. You get that internal lie detector test. And when you keep following your gut instincts, when you keep following your divine, when you keep following your intuitive hits and doing the things that you're being led to do, it's going to lead you on paths that you didn't even know were existent. You know, Page of Pentacles. It's gonna bring you to new projects. It's gonna bring you to either things that in the past that you would have never had the courage to do, because it takes you out of your comfort zone. But that's been a theme though recently, hasn't it? You know, you can only dip your toes in for so long before the Most High is just gonna push you in. Sometimes you know it's gonna be casual, but eventually, you know, the ancestors, you know, the Most High, they're gonna get fed up. They're gonna get fed up. Because a lot of times they want to bless you, but you're turning down your blessings out of fear, because you don't want to take the necessary steps. Come on. Oh yay, I did a puzzle. I don't even know why they do that. It's stupid. I'm not a robot. Sometimes we have a hard time understanding our internal compass. Sometimes we have a hard time digesting it, the energy, because it can be confusing. Especially even when you know not to trust people's words, when you know how to trust their energy, right? You start paying attention to energy more. But even then, it's not always the easiest, and we can be a little confused. And that's when we don't even see that there. Well, that's why we need to go internally. We need to go internally to fix, to resolve the conflict. Sometimes we need to go internally just to even know what the true issue is, because you can't believe what someone says, because people say bullshit all the fucking time. And so to truly understand it, what's really going on, it's to analyze it. That would be a lot easier if people were honest and truthful, but they're fucking not. But they're not. That's why it's a challenge. That's why it's a challenge to determine the truth. But that's why you stand your ground. You stand your ground because when you take the time to go inward, when you take the time to really seek what you believe the truth is, you're gonna stand. You have to stand your ground on that decision. You know, people. But when you realize people's BS, and especially when you call them out on it, they're gonna double down on their lie. They're gonna double down on their deceit. They're gonna double down on their deception. And that's why you need to stand your fucking ground. Final card, Spirit. Final card. Victory. When you can stop leaning on your own understanding, stop looking at the world through your worldly eyes, and start looking at it through your first eye. But you look through it through your first eye by going internally. And when you can learn to do that, it's a clear victory. It's a clear victory. 'Cause you're not going to be misled. You're not going to be misled. Sometimes it might feel as though you're being misled, but you're not. You still had some learning to do. There was still some part of the lesson that you needed. Which is fucked up, but it's the truth. Sometimes you're going to find yourself in situations where it's like, damn, really? You really? Like, why did you put me here? Why am I going through that? Like, really? Again? A lot of, it's those repetitive ones. It's like, damn, again? But it's like, well, what didn't I learn? Why am I still in this one again? What am I doing wrong? What am I missing? If you find yourself stuck in a repetitive one, it's because you're missing something. That's when you need to go into hermit mode. What am I missing? And if you don't know what you're missing, ask. Or you don't ask, you give thanks. Thank you for showing me what I'm missing. Thank you. You give thanks. You speak into existence. You give thanks because it's already happened. You don't limit yourself. You don't limit yourself by casting negative spells against yourself. By asking and begging. May I? No. Thank you for already doing it. Thank you for doing it for your favorite child. Thank you. You're the Most High's favorite. Act like it. Act like it. Don't fucking beg. We don't do that shit here. If you want to beg, go to another channel. We don't do that shit here. We give thanks because we're blessed. And the Most High wants to bless us and continue. The Most High wants to drown us in blessings. If you're not here to be drowned by blessings, you're on the wrong fucking place. I'm here to teach you how to drown in blessings, how to drown in happiness, how to drown in peace, how to drown in joy, even if it don't look like it. It's raining joy on me right now. Shit. It's an internal thing, not an external. It's an internal thing that radiates externally. But you need to change what's internally first. You can't have chaos in here, but then, be wanting to be raining down joy and peace and happiness. Sometimes you got to make it rain your own peace. You do that internally. Everything internal. Everything is internal. Everything. Can't express that enough. So yeah, so I didn't eat my lunch at work today. I've been addicted to these sandwiches. So I make these Mediterranean sandwiches, and just some like 12 grain bread, right? And then I'll do thick slices of cucumber. If I'm making it at home, I'll make them a little better, because I'll add like tomato and some feta cheese with lettuce, and then hummus, a spicy hummus. Add a little bite to it. Love them, addicted to them. But if I'm making them for work, I normally leave out the tomatoes and the feta, just because it turns into a mess. But yeah, it's refreshing. You know what I mean? You're getting the fresh crisp of the vegetables, and the hummus, the spicy hummus, is a nice little added touch. Love it. Love it. I think I do some onions and peppers on this one. Vegetarian, not vegan. Although I've kind of felt like I should, just because there's a lot of bad stuff. The growth hormones and a lot of the other stuff. I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't really consume a lot of dairy to begin with. Pizza, that's probably the most dairy I consume. But the interesting thing about dairy too is I've been trying to, if I'm gonna use the cheese on a pizza, I've been trying to get more towards like a goat cheese, right? Because goat cheese, you know why goat cheese is banned? Oh, probably because that's what it tells us to eat in the Bible. Anything good for us, they try to ban. You know what the Amish don't have? The Amish don't do they don't do vaccinations. You know what the Amish also don't have? Autism. Zero autism. But there's no correlation there. There's no link there. No link there. But they also unpasteurized milks, goat milk, goat cheese. That's what the Bible tells us we should be consuming. Yeah, I just did a couple readings. Oh, would you look at that? Your luck it's just your luck. I guess we got a reading coming out. All right. Tell us more about this Wheel of Fortune, Spirit. Justice. The Empress. Fertility, abundance, creativity. King of Wands. You're ambitious, driven, out here motivating others. King of Wands to the King of Pentacles. It's like you have a clear new direction, but it's it's a strong, durable connection. It's strong and durable because it's a firm foundation that it's built upon. It's a firm foundation that was built upon. The Hangman in reverse. You could be feeling stagnant right now. You could be stagnant because you're relying solely on yourself. You could be stagnant because you're relying on yourself, but that's because you've been betrayed by those that were supposed to help you. Betrayed by those that were supposed to help you. That leaves you haunted mentally. That leaves you stuck, expecting that everyone's going to betray you. When everyone you let close stabs a knife in your back, you stop letting people get close. But at the same time, not everyone has a dagger they want to stab in your back. It's going to take some more work to get over the mental restraints. Well, there's still more work to do, but you're resourceful. You're resourceful. You always find hope and optimism, even when it's hard to find. But that's because you know not to rely on yourself. You know not to rely on yourself. It's because you know that you're loved and supported by the divine. Loved and supported by the divine. That's what you need to tap more back into. That's what you need to tap more back into. Is the knowing, the inner knowing and understanding that you're loved and supported by the divine. That's going to help to really pull in. You know, everything's a frequency. It's a frequency that you need to resonate at. It's like sadness, sorrow, anger. They're all frequencies that you can tune into, but you can also tune out of. What are you choosing to tune into? You know, that's one way to look at things and think about it. You know, when you catch yourself in those trains of thought, when you catch yourself in even situations, you know what I mean? It's like, well, why the fuck am I here? You know, I'm not enjoying this here. Let me tune out. And tune out looks from cutting out people, places, things that no longer serve you. Putting yourself first. Now, if you're out there being a people pleaser, you're never going to come to this 10 of cups. Because everyone else is, as soon as you replenish a cup, it's gone. As soon as you replenish, gone, 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 gone. You gotta take care of yourself first before, you know, you give people the overflow out of your cups. You don't give people your cup. Because then what do you have to pour into? Nothing. Nothing. You're gonna be depleted. Judgment card on the bottom of the deck. Where you guys tuning in from? Tampa? Nice. Houston. Oh, what did I just do? I don't even know what I just did. Tennessee. Mauritius. I just butchered that name. Maldives. All over. Alright. Well, welcome everyone. London, but live in Spain. Georgia. It's not too far from where I am right now. I'm doing collective reads. You can tap into the energy, you know what I mean? Liking the videos, following the page, that's all ways to connect our energy together, which will help your energy get up into the collective for me to pick up on. But, or you can book a $10 read with me, mini read right now, through Cash App. Ace of Wands. So you could have just got into a new endeavor, you could have just started like a new job or a new something. But it's like the Four of Cups. It's like you fell into a rut, though. You fell into a rut. You're dissatisfied with it. It's like you're wondering if you made the right decision, if you're on the right path. But that's something you need to go internally to find out. You know, with Eight of Cups, it's seeking insight. Time for solitude. Get a lot of anxiety about the situation right now. Yeah, you need to go inward. You need to go inward. Going inward is where you're going to develop a new plan. Not based upon your understanding, but the Most High's. Fucking windy here. These are collective reads. You can book a read for half off right now, though. Yeah, it makes the journey seem even longer without that support, huh? It's definitely rough. Not well, having people to talk to is one thing. Having people that understand are two different things. Two completely different things. I think we might do... What do I want to do? I don't know what I want to do yet. I left my other deck inside though. Deck of Horus. I'm gonna need that. What time is it? 3:50? Alright, I'm gonna go get my deck. I'll be back.